Will the newly reunited Bat family be enough to take down Derek Powers and put an end to his evil machinations in Gotham City, and what lies beyond this fight? Well, let's hop into the pages of Batman Beyond the White Knight issue number 8, the grand finale of this Sean Gordon Murphy series, and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, Batman and his allies are now assaulting Derek Powers' base of operations at the old Wayne Industry building. The plan is to split up into smaller strike teams with specific goals to try and confuse Derek Powers and the GTO. First up, there's Commissioner Gordon. Barbara and the regular GCPD cops who are still loyal to her lead a ground battle against their much more corrupt counterparts in the GTO. Again, I'm just gonna say for the record, I feel like Barbara never reckoned with the fact that the GTO grew out of the GCPD, and that there's still a lot that needs to be done about police corruption in Gotham City, but hey, you know what, if she ever gets her own spin-off miniseries, maybe that's what that one can be about. Up in the sky, we have the very unlikely trio of Bruce, Jack, who now is able to physically interact with the rest of the world, and Harley. Their plan is to use the flying Batmobile to take the old analog Batmobile and get it inside the Powers building. Hollow Jack is absolutely loving having more of a physical form, by the way, and goes out of his way to be just as annoying as possible, saying that if he had his way, they'd be using the Tumbler Batmobile, because that's his favorite. The two new Robins, Duke and Gone, also do their best to help down below by holding a bridge with some pretty impressive motorcycle skills. Duke says that he learned his in Afghanistan while in the service. Well, Gone hilariously says that she learned to handle herself by riding a 10-speed. Also, hey, these two are both from Backport and they both ended up being Robins in this White Knight universe. How fun. Perhaps the biggest scene stealer, though, is Nightwing and Red Hood. They're the ones who take to the air and have to deal with all of Powers' new Batwings. They eventually end up turning the whole thing into a Gimli Legolas game like from Lord of the Rings, where they're all keeping track of how many goons they managed to take out. Powers is losing ground and quickly, so much to the point that in his desperation he decides to blow his own bridge and even activate a bunch of those bat murder mechs that he's been working on all series long. When the good guys ultimately do make it inside the building, their plan is simple. They still need to rescue Jackie Napier, the Joker and Harley's daughter, as well as find a way to shut down Powers' war machine once and for all. Thankfully, though, they won't have to go far, as the war machine ends up coming to them. Bruce and his team end up getting blasted, and the hit is pretty gnarly, not just in a physical sense, but in an emotional and mental sense too. After all, this is basically the grand culmination of Bruce's work as Batman literally being shot into his face right now. Perhaps this has always been the reason that he's been having these panic attacks all throughout this series, trying desperately and in vain to reconcile his identity as Batman with his life as Bruce. But hey, you know what? He did a lot of learning and growing throughout this series, and he now officially knows that the legacy of Batman doesn't only belong to him. It's not a weight that he has to carry on his own. The symbol of the bat is as much a family crest as anything, and once Bruce realizes that, he's able to don the mask of Batman once again, which, you know what, I'm actually surprised that this is the first time he's done it in the series, and I never actually clocked that very obvious fact until right now. In fact, in another very nice bit of visual storytelling, Batman actually knocks away some of the paint on the logo on his chest, revealing it in all of its glory. Geez, with storytelling like that, it's almost as if the guy who writes this story is the same guy who draws it too, am I right? With the Bat family more resolute than ever, they can finally go about completing their mission. Terry finally gets the opportunity to face down his father's killer, and for a second they play it up like Joker is going to double-cross Terry, only for him to actually end up triple-crossing Powers. Before he can officially be taken in, though, Derek does try and goad Terry into killing him, saying that he doesn't need to be the kind of Batman who follows in Bruce's footsteps. Then he can chart his own course for Batman and Gotham by being the sort of superhero who kills. Obviously, Terry isn't playing this game and says that he's not listening to Bruce or Powers or his dad or anyone. He's listening to Batman, which is a nice way of saying he's listening to himself. Jack ends up managing to hack into the Powers computer system and saves his daughter Jackie by actually making use of his beloved Tumbler. This also basically means this is as close as we're getting to a Napier family reunion. Not that Jackie seems to care so much, she genuinely seems to enjoy every second she gets to spend with her father, and it's made even better that this daddy-daughter outing ends with her using her hacking ability to finally bring down the Powers infrastructure from the inside out, though it's implied in doing so Jack was forced to sacrifice his own backup, meaning that he might actually be gone forever this time, though obviously that's not the case because there's literally an ad for an upcoming Jackie miniseries. wherein we see Jack Napier in the background. Also, this is still the Joker we're talking about here, so you know he has some ace up his sleeve. And yeah, that's basically where the story starts coming to an end, everyone. Powers is defeated, the GTO is defeated, the Bat family is finally reunited and in a better emotional place than they've been in decades. But wait, don't get too comfortable just yet. You'll remember that all throughout this series, Derek Powers was raving that he needed to create that Batman-inspired mech army to deal with an invasion that was forthcoming. Again, we didn't know if he was crazy or not. But as this issue comes to a close, we are introduced to FBI agent Diana Prince and her partner John Stewart. They were the agents actively working with Warren McGinnis to bring Derek Powers down. As it turns out, he actually was half right about this whole invasion thing. There are indeed aliens coming to Earth, but they're not the aliens you expect. These ones wear blue and red and live in Kansas. And if Batman agrees to deal with this brand new alien problem, the FBI is ready to completely clear his criminal record and let him walk free. And so that was Batman Beyond the White Knight issue number 8, everybody, and overall I thought it was a very enjoyable finale. Maybe not the best finale, maybe not my favorite finale in this greater White Knight universe. Personally, I think original White Knight, Curse of White Knight, and even that Harley miniseries actually had stronger, more definitive endings that, had they been the last word on the White Knight universe, would have gone out on a high note. Here in Beyond the White Knight, though, most of the big character moments and relationship stuff was actually dealt with in the penultimate issue, and this finale was more of a big budget summer blockbuster, right down to the little ending stinger setting up a much bigger universe and new stories to come, because, well, that is what the White Knight universe is right now, a whole universe unto itself. And don't get me wrong, I'm definitely going to read that Jackie book. I'm actually very interested to see what the Joker's daughter could get up to. And I'm even more interested to see what Sean Gordon Murphy and his collaborators have planned for future Batman stories, especially as it's only here at this late hour when Bruce is an old man are they actually introducing a young Superman. Overall, though, I'd feel comfortable giving this one a very solid 8 out of 10. It's good stuff. If you enjoyed everything that came before, I think you're definitely going to enjoy this, and if you're invested in the bigger White Knight universe, then this finale is definitely a must read. Hey there everyone, Cape Joel again, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really helps drive engagement and helps me out too. Also, if you are a patron, which you can become for as little as $1 a month, you will get exclusive content that no one else can ever see, and you'll get to see the Comic Multiverse podcast before anyone else too. You can check out all this and more down in the description. And until next time everyone, this has been Cape Joel, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.